Hi, my name is Newell Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our 14-gallon tote that we built 20 days ago and added our African Nightcrawlers to. So now it's been going for 20 days. I have not done any updates at all. I have not done any feeding. I saw that it did raise in temperature and it sort of is lowering back down. It's probably back down into that 65 range. So the worms have probably slowed down a little bit. Now I know that the system is probably still has a lot of cardboard in it, and I really need that to go away before I can do anything like a harvest or anything. So what I want to do is just add food and try to add it to one section of the system so that way we can try to get the worms to migrate over, eat all that food, eat the cardboard that's there, and maybe leave the other side alone so I can do a harvest. So with that, let's take a look at the system, see how it's doing, and see how the compost is doing on that one side. And I do have that side marked where we did our last feeding. So with that, let's take a look at our system. All right, so here we are with the system. Let's go ahead and take this lid off and see how it looks. So first off, there's a lot of moisture on the lid. I'm seeing the worms have been crawling up around the edges there, as you can see, and they've been adding some of their material all around the edges. We can still see there's a lot of cardboard on top here. Oh, where do I put this lid? This is a big lid. All right, so I gotta put this lid behind me here and grab some gloves and take a look at this system. Now, there's moisture on the lid, so I'm not too worried about moisture content at the moment. I do have my compressor here with my, sorry, not my compressor, but it is a water system over here. Maybe it is a little bit dry. Let's just kind of dig in here though. This is the side that we last fed on here. And as I've told people in the past while I'm digging through here, I do recommend wearing gloves. I know a lot of people don't, but I do like wearing gloves when I'm digging through my systems. Let's just see here. All right, we're down to the bedding, or through the bedding, all the way down to the bottom section here where the burlap is in the bottom. And we found our first worm here. And this was, it looks like a juvenile to a baby worm. This is actually a good sign. I just realized the light's a little bit off there. There we go. So we've got our first little juvenile worm. Whoops, I got to see another worm here that I missed. Again, a smaller worm. So I think that this was a good sign right here. That means that we probably have some cocoons in here that are hatching. They're starting to go through this food, especially as it heats up. Now, it's not hot right now. I do have my temperature gun somewhere, I think. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I don't have it near me. I thought I did. I had it right behind me, but apparently not. But this does not feel very warm. I'm just kind of digging up this corner a little bit just to see. But you can see there's a lot of cardboard in this section over here. Whoop. Here's a larger worm. One of our bigger ones. Not quite an adult. They're not looking very healthy. I think it's a little bit chilly in here for them. So we're going to go ahead and just push this off to the other side. And we're going to check out this side right here, which did not have the heat in it. And you can see, whoop, we got a big worm right here. This one was moving around a little bit. So we definitely have African Nightcrawlers in here. This is a good sign. I was worried that they might flee or go somewhere else and try to run out of here. But it looks like we do have a lot over here, especially in this corner over here. There's a lot of cardboard. I'm seeing a few darting away. Okay, we've got a whole bunch in this corner on the opposite side. Now, this is surprising. I really thought that they would be over where the food was that I just put in. But there's a whole bunch of them in this corner over here. I don't know if they were running away from the food or running towards something else. Or maybe it's just there's a lot of cardboard in this corner. Maybe that's why. And it's probably been sitting for a while. But they were over in this corner over here, which is very surprising. I really thought that they'd be on this side, but we had a lot of babies on this side comparatively. Let's just go ahead and dig over here. Again, there's lots of cardboard in this system. It is a little bit dry, but not too dry. Again, we're getting some of these blocks of food and things like that in here that are leftover remnants from when we had the bags. Lots of cardboard on this side from our old system. Another big worm. This one's a little bit more active, as you can see. Nice and healthy. So maybe they like this cardboard on this side a little bit more. But this definitely needs a little bit more moisture. I'm going to go ahead and grab my sprayer. That's the word I was looking for before. And we'll go ahead and add some water to this system. Now, I don't have any fish water at the moment. I need to do a harvest of my fish tank for that. So we're just going to use the sprayer for now. And just add a little bit of water to this side right here. Get everything a little bit wet. Not too wet though. We're not trying to make it where it's soaking. I will say with this being a little bit shorter, it is spraying a lot outside of the system compared to some other systems where they're a little deeper. But just kind of get everything on top just a little bit wet. There was already moisture. All right, now what we are going to do is we are going to add a little bit of food to this system, but no cardboard. I don't feel this system needs any more cardboard. We're going to add to the same side we did before, so we're going to go ahead and peel back this layer over here, just like this. I'm going to grab a big helping of food, if I can get it. There we go. And this again is from my FoodCycler. I'll put a link below so you can check those out. I also have some videos on it. Big fan of this. Oops, gotta turn this back on so we can spray this down. This is pretty dry, the food. I also don't have any biochar either. Haven't had a fire in a while. All right, so there we go. We're just gonna wet this down. Gotta make sure it's all wet because this will heat up, but also there's the fact that I really need it to be wet because it soaks up a lot of water, and I don't want that to happen. Now I want to make sure this is buried in the system. I am finding these little really hard compressed nuggets. Sorry if you can hear that squealing noise. But now we're going to go ahead and clean off my gloves a little bit, just like that, and turn off my sprayer here. All right, now there's one other piece to this that I want to talk about, and for that I'm going to put the lid back on, and that is, remember, we do have moisture on our lid right here. I'm just going to go ahead and flip this back over, and I'm going to go ahead and keep this. As you can see, I've got the date right here. I'm going to just write right below it in red. Oops, 25, not 20, 25. Today's the 25th. Just so we know what day I took a look at the system. And I just want to lift this up real quick and move it off to the side so you can see underneath and see what's going on. So with that, ready? All right. As you can see, it's pretty dry under here. Oh, we've got a worm or two under here that crawl down, or actually quite a few that crawl down in here or got down in here and have died. Looks like they've dried out, unfortunately, which happens with any system. There are always going to be worms that escape, so do not worry about that. That's just part of running a system. Oh, one of my little things just fell. I'm going to have to probably glue that down again. But as you can see, that's going to happen. I try to really keep the worms inside the system. That's why I put the burlap down, but they are going to wander at times. It's just going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. So with that, this system is looking pretty good. Maybe not as good as the 10-gallon grow bags, but it's also brand new. The worms are still getting used to it. I am keeping it off the floor, so the heat will stay a little bit better than compared to like next to one of my walls or on the floor where it's 60 degrees. It's about 65 in the middle of the room, so it's a little bit warmer, at least warm enough to not kill the worms. So with that, thank you for watching. I have a video on how you can build this yourself. I suggest you check it below, and I'll link it in the description. And also, I have other videos to watch on composting with worms. Take a look at them and let me know if you have any questions. I'm always like to have some comments and questions on my videos, and it might make for future content as well to help answer your questions. So with that, go check out that other video.